The First World War was about 9 months old when the Lusitania became one of its countless victims. The origins of the war, however, went back to the 1800s. The nations of Europe changed immensely in the second half of the 19th century. Improvements in the healthcare and nutrition prompted a population boom. The Industrial Revolution was making the European nations more powerful than ever before. The need for new markets and raw materials to keep their factories busy spurred competition among smaller nations. This competition inevitably led to friction. As the British, French, and German empires carved up Asia and Africa, heated disputes arose over colonial boundaries. In Eastern Europe, the disputes between the Austro-Hungarian and Russian empires were even more heated as they vied for control and influence over the little countries of southeastern Europe. It was Germany that grew most spectacularly. Germany soon became the dominant political power of continental Europe, as well as the strongest industrial and military power on Earth. Germany's military machine had won a shocking string of victories, culminating with the defeat of France in 1871. Frenchmen could never forget the sight of German soldiers in their menacing, spiked helmets marching in triumph through the streets of Paris. As part of the price France had to pay for losing the war, Germany added to its empire a whole French province and most of another. This conquered territory, called Alsace-Lorraine, remained a constant thorn to French pride. From the 1890s onward, Germany's emperor, Kaiser Wilhelm II, symbolized his country's militaristic character. Wilhelm was a tense and immature man who was known for his frequent temper tantrums. His sinister black mustache jutted upward in spikes from under his sharp nose. He always stood straight and rigid. He almost always wore a uniform. The Kaiser's bristling mustache, stiff posture, and gaudy metal-bedecked uniform was made familiar throughout the world by foreign cartoonists who used him as a convenient symbol of Germany. Throughout his reign, he was preoccupied with enlarging Germany's combat forces. He delighted in flaunting his army and navy. The intensity of Germany's military buildup worried the other countries of Europe. The French feared another German invasion. The Russians were disturbed by the Kaiser's growing friendship with Russia's rival, Austria-Hungary. The British were extremely unsettled by the expansion of the German navy, which might one day be used to challenge Britain's traditional rule of the seas. As suspicion festered, each nation increased its armed forces to keep pace with its neighbors. As a result of this arms race, armies grew tremendously in size and strength. The generals believed victory would go to the army that was the strongest when war broke out. Politicians tried to arrange a balance of power by forming alliances between countries. They hoped that if no group became stronger than the others, peace could be maintained. Yet rather than prevent war, the alliance system seemed to increase the risk of a conflict. If a nation felt itself threatened, it might decide to attack first. Allies, bound by agreement, might then be drawn and a widespread conflict might result, even if none of the countries concerned really wanted it to happen. The summer of 1914 was a particularly lovely one in Europe. In the fertile fields, cows fattened and crops ripened under the warm sun. In the cities, commerce flourished and business boomed. Europeans basked in prosperity and peace. But a terrible storm was looming on the horizon. By this time, two powerful, opposed military alliances had formed: Germany and Austria, Hungary, the so-called Central Powers, on one side, and France, Britain and Russia, later known as the Allies, on the other. Europe had become a huge armed camp, divided against itself. It was an extremely dangerous situation, based on mutual distrust, suspicion, rivalry, and fear. It was a keg of gunpowder waiting to explode. Only a spark was needed for a massive, all-destructive war to erupt. An assassin's bullet was to be the spark. For some time, trouble had been brewing between Austria-Hungary and Serbia, a small country on its southern border. The Serbs, like the Russians, belonged to the Slavic race. In the Austro-Hungarian provinces that bordered Serbia lived several Slavic peoples, including Serbs, called the South Slavs, or Yugoslavs. With the spread of nationalism, these people came to think of themselves as one. Neighboring Serbia pledged to free all Yugoslavs from the control of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. On June 28, 1914, the heir to Austria-Hungary's throne, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, was assassinated by a Slav nationalist. The murder was linked to Serbia. After a bitter month of confrontation and tension, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia on July 28. Kaiser Wilhelm gave the Austrians his pledge of support. Russia rose to Serbia's defense and began to assemble troops on Austria-Hungary's eastern frontier. Germany demanded that Russia withdraw its army. Not receiving a reply to this demand, Germany declared war on Russia on August 1st. France and Britain honored their agreement to stand by their ally, Russia. Within 3 days, they too were at war with the Central Powers. World War I had begun.